We welcome you to Bristol International Raceway, a short half-mile, very quick racetrack. That can be confusing to the pit reporters who stand down here in the pits, but what about the drivers who circle the track in about 16 seconds? Well, yesterday, I did a man-on-the-street survey.
Oh, man, I won this night race here. At times, I thought I was a lap down. I was leading. When I was leading, I thought I was a lap down. Everything happened so quick. This is a confusing racetrack.
Sometimes here at Bristol, we get going so fast, we don't know if we're on the front chute or the back chute.
I'm so dizzy, I don't know whether I'm coming or going.
This place can really wear you out, but it definitely won't put you to sleep. If you remember last year, you obviously need to take an extra lap here.
I thought the white flag meant surrender.
Surrender was exactly what Mark Martin did 1 year ago. The yellow and white flags waved simultaneously, signifying caution, but also the final lap of the race. Suddenly, the race leader, Martin, pulls off the track, just 100 yards shy of the checkered flag, thus surrendering the lead and the win to eventual Busch Grand National Series champion, David Green.
We all just kind of let our hair down. I was fighting for him, and I didn't watch him around, which I should have done.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
We just quit a half a lap too early, that's all.
Please don't remind me if I did something worse than that.
I don't think we'll do it again either.
Well, you know, Winston Cup superstars always learn from their mistakes, but I think I'm going to continue it with another superstar, Kyle Petty, who'll be working with us today. And Kyle, is this track really that confusing?
I thought I was still in Darlington when I got here. That's how confusing it is. I tell you what, you don't know whether you're in the first turn, you don't know whether you're in the third turn. You know, Mark had an embarrassing experience. I was pitting over here one time on a back stretch and came down the front stretch thinking my pit was over here. That's how confusing it is. But that's just my opinion on this thing. Let's talk to another driver down here who hit harder here and tested the wall harder coming out of 2 than anybody I've ever seen. Let's see what Michael says about it.
Well, that was quite an experience that day. I was just proud to get up and walk out of here. One guy that's had a great time at Bristol this weekend, though, is NASCAR Busch Grand National Series champion David Green. David not only put his Slim Jim Chevrolet on the pole for today's Busch race, but he's also got the Interstate Batteries car qualified for the Cup race in 5th tomorrow for Bobby Labonte. David, how have you adapted so good to this place?
Well, I don't know. We've had awful good luck here, Mike, and Slim Jim Monte Carlo's awful good. But I tell you, chance of a lifetime with Joe Gibbs, the Interstate Batteries, Jimmy Maycar. I knew if I just did my job halfway decent with a car like that, we could be close to the front. But tomorrow's going to be a different story. Today's a sprint race compared to tomorrow.
Are you looking good for today? I know you've had a lot of trouble this year, and you want to defend that championship. Things hadn't gone well yet, though.
No, it hadn't. But, you know, ever since Daytona, we've had a good car, top 3 car, but just gremlins have bit us. But hopefully today will be like Nashville, get back in the winner's circle. Just want to say hi to Scott. Hope he's feeling better. We're thinking about you, buddy.
Everybody's thinking about Mercer and Shane O'Brien back in Kentucky. Dr. Jerry Punch, up to you.
And thank you, Michael. Bristol can indeed be a bruiser, and we are live on the Deuce here from the place they call Thunder Valley, Bristol International Raceway for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Goodies 250 competition. It is a clear but crisp day here in Bristol, Tennessee. Temperature is a cool 58 degrees, humidity 46%, partly cloudy skies, and winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Well, what a difference a year makes in the point standings after 6 events. Look where Johnny Benson was a year ago. Now he leads the points. Now, Terry Labonte's in second, but he won't be in Hickory in 2 weeks. He's going to the Cayman Islands for a little R&R. So Chad Little, Phil Parsons, Rodney Combs, and Larry Pearson will be in the top 5 here in a couple of weeks. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to Bristol, Tennessee. We told you what an unusual beginning to the 1995 Busch Series season. We have 6 events, 5 different winners, and none are the Winston Cup veterans. Not a single time has a Winston Cup veteran gone to victory lane. We thought that might change last week at Darlington, where experience is so critical. Didn't happen. From 36 to first came a Busch Series regular, Larry Pearson, and what a poignant moment that was for him, getting his first Darlington victory. Well, experience also critical here at Bristol, Tennessee. But take a look at qualifying. The front row, Busch Series regulars. So where are the veterans? Well, who better to ask that question than our veterans? Here's Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons.
Jerry, these guys have become veterans. The Busch Series is one of the most competitive forms of all of auto racing. These drivers now have experience on each of these racetracks. They've learned how to build these race cars, they've learned how to set them up, and they've learned how to drive them. Benny, these guys are not weekend racers anymore.
They used to be. They used to work at a job during the week and race on the weekends. No more. They work on these race cars 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, just like the Cup guys, and it's showing on Saturday afternoon because the Cup guys are really having a difficult time beating them. Jerry?
Indeed they are, and they've got 250 laps today on a tough high bank racetrack to try to get into victory lane for the first time in 1995. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the green flag after this. Today's Speed World coverage of the Goodies 250 being brought to you by Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. By Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by NASCAR 94 Year in Review. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Take a look at this tough racetrack. They call it Thunder Valley, and indeed it is .533 miles around, a little over a half a mile, equal front and back stretch distance, 650 feet. The straights are 16 degrees, and folks, that is not a misprint. The turns are banked at 36 degrees.
The most banking of any racetrack on the Winston Cup circuit, Talladega, I think, is 35 degrees.
We'll go 250 laps here today, 133 miles. The race record is 92.929 miles per hour. Last year's winner, David Green.
No, I think it was Mark Martin won. Oh, yeah, that's right. He pulled in half a lap too soon.
And while we're waiting, they got the cars lined up. Let's check in. We're going to be riding along with a couple of drivers today, and we have an in-car radio with Chad Little. Chad?
Yes, Chad, this is Benny Parsons, the ESPN. You read me?
Hey, Benny, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about that outside starting spot? A little scary up there?
Well, I think I'd rather be on the inside, but I'm sure there'll be a spot opening up soon enough.
Have you talked to someone behind you about opening the spot up?
I asked Mark, but he said he wasn't going to let me in.
Good enough. Here's the starting grid.
Let's take a look at our Suzuki starting lineup. We told you that the front row was all Busch Series regulars. There it is, David Green and a man Benny just talked to a minute ago, Chad Little. But you don't have to look far to find a Winston Cup veteran.
No, Mark Martin will start in 4th place. Mark has run off the good in all the Busch races he has run in so far this year, but has yet to win.
Brad Teague, great qualifying run for him in a one-race deal, the 5-car.
As you look at our starting lineup, you have to go all the way back to row 6 before you find the guy who dominated the last time they were here in August. That's Kenny Wallace. He will start in 11th spot.
And Jeff Green, one of the fastest cars in practice. Jason Kelly, another in-car camera today. There's Rockin' Rodney with the Hulk Hogan sponsorship.
The qualifying is so close here at Bristol. You know, from first back really to last is not a great deal of difference. See Dennis Setcher back there, Bill Parsons starting deep in the field, and so is Bobby Hillin.
Kirk Schomerning, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt many years.
Dale Jarrett starts back in 28th spot. He started 30th here last year and got a top 5 finish. There's our point leader way back outside of row 15, Johnny Benson.
And the top rookie of 1995, Jeff Fuller, alongside Benson.
36 cars will start it here. There will be 18 rows as you look at the final 2 rows here in the Goodies 250, our Suzuki starting lineup. Mike McLaughlin and Tracy Leslie taking provisional starting spots. There they are at the back of the field. The first time that Mike McLaughlin's been able to race here. Last year, he did not make either event. In-car cameras today. We're going to be riding along with a couple of people here. Budget Gourmet, Roof Camp.
And Chad Little inside Chad's car. Now, here's the guys who did not qualify for this race. We see Kevin LePage, Andy Belmont, Joey McCarthy. First time we've seen him. Mark Day, that was the 16 car. L.W. Miller, Dale Williams, and John Tanner, the 3 cars on the right. All 3 rookies. And cinch up, Jerry. Time to go racing at Thunder Valley.
You thought it was exciting at Darlington, folks. You haven't seen anything yet. Glad to have you with us here on the high banks of Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. Larry Carrier's Speed Dome that everybody who's a race fan, if you've never been here, folks, you've got to come see it firsthand. But we're glad to have you watch it on the news today, and then later tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPN Classic. Getting set for the green flag. National champion David Green and Chad Little will lead him down to turn 1. His way toward the front as he nudges his past Chad Little. As you're riding along now into Harris Teeter in car, and Chad Little, he's back in 4th spot.
Yeah, he got caught up on that outside and just couldn't get back in. So he wound up 4th, which I'm sure is really pretty happy to find a hole there.
Exactly right, Nick, because he could have went back to about 20 before he got in.
That's his spotter talking to Chad Little. You're going to be able to hear some of those in-car radio with Chad Little and Jason Keller, who you saw a moment ago. We have the in-car camera in his car.
He's telling the spotter, be sure and warn me if someone gets underneath me.
Pretty remarkably clean start here at Bristol.
It was. Right now, Chad's concern is to catch that 60 car because it looks like Mark is putting, well, Mark right now is drifting back a little bit from that front 2 cars. Now we can see that Mark has lost 3 or 4 spots, and Chad is gaining on Mark Martin.
There's a battle as Brad Teague in the car number 5 tries to make a move inside of Curtis Markham.
Boy, it is so difficult to pass. Now if Teague gets down on the inside, he might be able to do it. Curtis goes up just a little bit, leaves a little running room down there, but still, Brad Teague is not able to make the pass.
Brad Teague, one of 2 cars in the field today with a V6 engine, and now he makes the move inside of Markham.
Yes, Hermie Sadler, one of the other cars, the other car that has the V6 today. Dirk Stevens, a good one for Dirk in qualifying. The Duralene car is closed up on the back bumper of the 63. That's the Lysol car of Curtis Markham.
That is 6th and 7th position. Now that's 6th and 7th. Where are the leaders here after just about 7 laps? There is David Green being closely pursued by the 2-time national champion, Larry Pearson. Talk about role reversal and number reversal. Here's Jeff Fuller, a rookie at Bristol, in the 47 being chased by our point leader. Check in the pits with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, the point leader, Johnny Benson, started way back in 30th position. It was because they were down on horsepower. The problem, they think, they found it this morning when they changed headers. The header collector pipe was blocked, and it looks like David Green has slowed down. David Green, who is leading the race, started on the pole, is radioed in, told his crew that the motor has just blown. But getting back to Johnny Benson, they put new header pipes on the car. They think they had the problem fixed.
Boy, wow. What a tough break for David Green. Thanks, John. And you saw David Green slow, and he has relinquished the lead to the car number 92, Larry Pearson. Here's what happened to Green a moment ago.
Goes in turn 3, no problem. He hits the accelerator to come off the corner, and boom, the car just quits, and he's lucky that Larry Pearson didn't run over him.
He was very fortunate there to slow down that much as fast as they go here and not get tapped from the rear, but ends up driving by Larry Pearson.
And we are told from the pits that apparently they have no oil pressure whatsoever on Green, and they very disgustingly slammed the hood down on that Slim Jim Chevrolet Monte Carlo. More bad luck for David Green. That's the same car he managed to win with at Nashville, Tennessee. Back up front, Larry Pearson is being shown as our leader, but getting a little bit of a challenge.
A little bit of challenge from Mark Martin, and I think Larry Pearson liked that victory last week, Ned. He's showing it here today anyway.
He likes this racetrack, too. He has won here before, of course, when he was winning the national championship several years ago, and knows how to get around here. Here's a pass by Steve Grissom. There's Jeff Green going by Bobby Dotter. And once you get up on that outside lane, the train comes by. Then the sensor comes on by as well.
That's 15th, 16th, and 17th. That's positions we're seeing back in the field, racing all around this half-mile racetrack as the laps click away. Goody's 250 laps on a high-banked half-mile. And Larry Pearson, second-generation driver, continues to lead Mark Martin by half a car length. And that's Chad Little you're riding with right now in the Harris Teeter roof cab. He is in third.
And just a few laps, business is going to really pick up because they are closing in on the last place car. And when lapping starts, and all your marks on the inside, try and look on the inside. But when lapping starts, this racetrack becomes awfully narrow.
Let's check in the pits, in the David Green pits, with John Kernan.
Jerry, David has just pulled his Slim Jim Chevrolet behind the wall. The problem, they lost the oil pump belt. Now, if you'll recall, he was running very well last week at Darlington. They had the same problem happen there.
Well, it's going to be tough.
And there's a spin off turn 2.
Tracy Leslie's car number 72, and Leslie had nearly lost it about 2 laps ago in the same spot.
Yeah, but he got bumped this time by the car number 35. And Tracy got a little bit sideways, and the 35 bumped him, and just right on around he went.
35 is Doug Hebron. That's in the Mike Laughlin car. There we see Tracy Leslie in the Detroit Gasket car is now a lap down to our leaders.
We'll take a look at it. Here they come off of turn 2, and you can see they get together just a little bit. I think Tracy got the back end of the car out a little bit, had to get off the gas, and Hebron came up and tapped him just a little bit and sent him on around, but fortunately he didn't hit anything too hard.
Unfortunately, you can hit in a ton here at Bristol, Tennessee, and the car looks to be pretty much intact. Under caution for the first time today. Back with more Busch Series action after this. Back at Bristol International Raceway under caution the first time today, but our national champion is still behind the wall. He's with John Kernan.
Jerry's crew is getting ready to do some work on his car. David, lost oil pressure second week in a row, but did it hurt the motor?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing happened to us last week at Darlington. The bolt comes out, it breaks, mandrel falls off, the belt comes off. But I shut it off. It was still running, but I don't know, we probably hurt it. But awesome car today, but can't win these things running 4 or 5 laps.
Well, David Green behind the wall right now. They will work on the car. They may try to get him out to run for points, Jerry.
And well, we were under caution because of this incident right here. Doug Hebron in the 35 and the 72 that's spinning. That, of course, Tracy Leslie just bumps the inside wall. No significant damage. And we are set for green flag racing once again at Bristol, Tennessee.
Larry Pearson takes off into turn 1 with Mark Martin right behind him.
Tracy Leslie, the car that spun, the only car that did make the pit stop. He went in and changed 4 tires.
Martin had a notion going into turn 3, but couldn't quite get it far enough alongside Larry Pearson. Now he's going to try it in turn 1. Pearson using the group. Now Pearson goes up a little bit. Martin comes under him.
Side by side out of turn 2. And Mark Martin in the same car that he could have won this race with a year ago, had he not pulled in, as you saw in the opening of our show, takes the lead, and Larry Pearson's caught on the outside.
Yeah, you wonder how far back will he go. He had a hole there, but couldn't get down in it behind the 5 car of Brad Teague, and now the 64 car coming down on the inside of him.
That's Dirk Stevens. And Pearson is still hung on the outside as we see Chad Little pressuring Mark Martin. And look at the 5 car, the 6-cylinder of Brad Teague.
And Brad Teague is from Johnson.
Oh, and Jeff Green spins down the back straightaway in the Jim Goodrich car.
And no caution yet. He's sitting down at the end of pit road on the backstretch. Now the caution is out. If anyone happened over there, he's going to come around. He's going to try to beat the leaders back around as Mark Martin comes up on him there, and he'll try to stay in the lead lap, and they slow down and will allow him to do that. What happened over there was that everybody was jamming up, Larry Pearson up on the outside, and they started jamming their brakes on and bumping each other, and Jeff Green was one of those who got bumped hard enough to spin out.
Let's see if we can see. Here's the tail end of what happened to Jeff Green. Again, this is Jeff Green driving Dale Earnhardt's Goodrich Chevrolet.
And we can see that he hit the inside wall exactly like Tracy Leslie, only hit it about a few miles an hour faster, and he's finally lost the back bumper, the piece of fiberglass, the bumper cover, I should call it, I guess.
Let me correct it. That's Teresa Earnhardt's Chevrolet. I make sure that we don't go straight to the top in that family. Go to Teresa Earnhardt, the car owner in that Chevrolet Dale Earnhardt drove last year, and the same car that had an incident at Darlington last week. As we were under caution for the 2nd time today, and Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford, the car that led a number of laps but didn't lead the last one a year ago, is our leader. And here is Jeff Green going to the attention of Tony Hury and the Goodrich crew. Back with more from Bristol, Tennessee after this. Bristol, we've just gone green a half a lap ago. Mark Martin leads Chad Little, a pair of Thunderbirds, heading into turn 3, and behind them, coming in a hurry, the V6 Chevy of Brad Teague.
Well, that car is really going through the turns there. He didn't get off the 2 minute start, Brad Teague, but once he got her up to speed, it really comes on.
And the Jeff Green, the Goodrich car, they pulled the car behind pit wall. I don't know. There was some smoke out of the back of the car. It didn't look like the damage was that significant, but anyway, they have pulled the car behind the wall.
That white car, number 5, that is the 47-year-old Johnson City, Tennessee native, Brad Teague. That car owned by Charlie Henderson. As this is a pack here, battling back to the 4th position.
Curtis Markham in the 63, the Lysol car. Dirk Stevens. There's Terry LaBonde in the MW in this car. Kenny Wallace. Jason Keller. There's a field summary where you can see where your favorite driver may be running.
So we see if Pearson dropped back there pretty good. Then you made a point during a commercial break. The caution was a break for him.
Exactly, because he was still on the outside, and when he crossed the line, the car restarted a single file, so he had to start at what position?
Yeah.
He was still hung on the outside. He could have lost 10 more spots.
He could have.
There's Larry Pearson being shown in the Stanley Tools car back in 10th position. And we're continuing down on Jeff Green's Goodrich Chevrolet. Kyle Petty is there. Kyle?
I'm standing here beside Jeff Green's car. There's a lot of cosmetic damage, but he's not going to be the only car here with cosmetic damage today. The problem is when he backed in the wall, it drove the right rear trailing arm up into the transmission. The transmission's out of it. They're going to change transmissions. They're going to change trailing arms. Other than that, it doesn't look like the clip's bent or anything. They're going to get him back out there, and he's going to try to get some points. Back up to you guys.
Boy, it doesn't look like you hit that hard, but here at Bristol, anytime you hit, it's going to be hard.
That's for doggone sure. And there we see Jason Keller, 57, Budget Gourmet, 75. Now that's a team car to the 5-car. That's a 75, Rick Wilson. Once again, the food country car.
Now he has a V8 in his.
That's
correct.
correct.
V8, and he has a Ford in the 75 versus the Chevrolet in the 5. Talking about Charlie Henderson going in two different directions. Here's another battle back in the pack 1, 29-59. That's Hermie Sadler, another V6 we're talking about in the car number 1. Sadler, the former rookie of the year.
That's about 14th. The 43 car of Rodney Combs is leading that group, the red car. And that's Hermie Sadler in the 1. Once again, that's the other 6-cylinder in today's race.
And a spin out of turn 4. One car loops it around. Jeff Fuller, the 1992 modified national champion. A rookie in Busch competition spins it. And the leaders will get the caution flag. Fuller gets it right in the Sunoco 260 car. He will not lose a lap. Pretty good effort by Fuller here at Bristol to keep it out of the wall.
Well, he got lucky, yeah.
Great driving job.
Great driving job.
Now, we always said that was a great driving by Benny Parsons when you missed the wall, BP.
And I had my eyes shut just like he did.
Caution for the third time today here on lap 44. And Jeff Fuller, I'll bet you we had those eyes, those peepers shut, coming toward the wall here in Bristol in a hurry. But he loops it around, doesn't damage that car, and brings out the caution flag for the third time.
And we've been fortunate with the spins. I mean, it wasn't fortunate for Jeff Fuller, Tracy Leslie, and Jeff Green, but that there have been only one car instance. Let's see from our speed shot if we can see what happens. Yeah, there he is sideways. I don't know if he got a bump from the back or not. Hard to tell. A lot of smoke.
Imagine trying to see behind him. Who's that coming behind him? Looks like Patty Moise.
Yes, it is Patty.
Boy, nice job by Patty to get on the brakes, or else she would have hit him right in the door. Got the car slowed down and moved around him, as did Stevie Reeves. Under caution once again here at Bristol, Tennessee. Back with more exciting Busch Series action in the Goody's 250 right after this. Perfect timing back at Bristol, Tennessee as the pace car pulls down that Ford Mustang, and Ford Thunderbird will lead him down to the green flag once again as we restart here after this caution flag lasting 4 laps.
Everyone in single file so far.
Battle heating up for 4th spot. Kirk Stevens, 1993 Northwest Tour champion in the car number 64, the Duraloop car. That's Dennis Shoemaker-owned machine, trying to get around Curtis Martin in the Lysol Pontiac.
And the 14, the white 14, is Terry Labonte as he tries to get alongside Dirk Stevens.
He had a run going into that turn, but he couldn't quite get up there beside him.
That's Doug Hevron's car slowing there on the inside, the car number 35, Milacron machine of Mike Laughlin.
These cars going down the straightaway, coming off the corner at probably 110 miles an hour, up to about 130 miles an hour going into the corners. It's awfully, awfully fast here at Bristol.
And here's a battle of 42. Bobby Hamilton, the Band-Aid Pontiac, and our point leader, Johnny Benson.
Bobby got him a good running start on the start of the race. He was back about 4 or 5 positions behind Benson, got up on the outside, got him a good run start, picked off 4 or 5 cars, including Johnny Benson.
Well, what a good sponsor to have at Bristol, Band-Aid.
Band-Aid, yeah. We saw Doug Hebron going slow down the front straightaway. They seem to think they have a broken axle. Only one wheel is pulling, and that will make the car extremely loose, so he's having to go to the garage area.
These two cars here running for 22nd and 23rd, and Benson will try to take the spot away and does get the position. That makes him puts him in 22nd spot with 195 laps to go. He's our point leader.
The 42 car that Bobby Hamilton is driving, Kyle Petty, one of our pit reporters, may drive this car a time or two this year, is Jason Keller. Budget Gourmet car is currently running in, what is it, 8 spots?
And we can ride along on the roof cam, the Budget Gourmet roof cam with Jason Keller. Ronnie Silver, veteran crew chief, has been with Michael Waltrip a lot of times in Busch competition, is involved with this car when he's not working with Michael this year in the Bahari team. So, and that certainly has been a big aid to Jason Keller, currently 7th in the point standing.
Jason not having much success at running down Kenny Wallace, the Red Dog car. That's the Red Dog Ford right in front of him there. And since the cars are running in single file, we're not hearing too much from the spotters. It's only when these cars get side by side that the spotters are going to say inside, outside, or if there's a spin.
Now here's a battle. Rodney Combs in car number 43 and Hermie Sadler in the car number 1. They have really been going at it. Sadler might have him this time. He does. Going into turn 1, gets on the inside, got him run, and Steve Grissom comes right along. Dennis Setzer tried to, but he couldn't quite get up there.
Old Holm Hogan slammed the door on Setzer there. That's what's on the side of Rodney Combs' car. Richard Petty on the machine, number 43.
Oh, and Rick Wilson almost loses control. Gets the car sideways, and Pearson gets alongside.
And makes the pass, and here comes Mike Wallace down on the inside as well.
That's 9th, 10th, and 11th as Wallace in the car number 90 will take the 10th spot. And continuing to lose positions is Rick Wilson, a former winner here at Bristol, Tennessee. He's caught up on the outside. There goes Tim Fedewa by, and now here comes Hermie Sadler in the car number 1.
And Steve Grissom will go on by once you get up in the outside lane. Now he's got a little bit of a space there in front of Rodney Combs, and he does get back in line. Rick Wilson, but look how many times, how many positions he lost.
And there where the spotters are telling these guys that someone's alongside. You can't come down. If you do.
Oh, a spin coming off of turn 2. Tommy Houston and gets together with
Ed Barrier in the car number 97, and Ed had that great run at Darlington last week, coming from 33rd to finish 11th, but in short track contact at Bristol, Tennessee, and Barrier got the worst end of that.
Yeah, we've been forcing him with the first 3 spins, but that was not an easy hit. Some heavy damage to that 97 car.
You want to stay out or you think we ought to come?
Discussing whether or not they ought to pit or not.
Oh, no, man, it's, we can make a little adjustment now, but, you know, we're going to lose a shitload of track position. Yeah, 10-4. I think it's a bit on the early side myself. 10-4 will stay out.
That is Chad Little talking with Gary Cogswell, his crew chief, and trying to discuss what they're going to do.
There we see Ed Barry walking across the racetrack. He is evidently okay, but there again, they discussed it and said we can't lose all the track position by going in right now because we see how tough passing is here. We need to stay up front as long as we can.
Yeah, even though the car is not handling quite the way Chad would like it.
There's what's left of the car number 97, the Mean Green Cleaner Chevrolet. And here again is what happened just a moment ago to bring out the latest yellow.
Well, it was a situation. Ed Barrier got just a little bit loose coming off of turn 2, and Tommy Houston was right there and tapped him and spin him on around.
And Ed Barrier has walked over, and Michael Waltrip has caught up with him. Michael?
I'm with Ed Barrier, standing here on the back straightaway. I saw the wreck. Ed, couldn't tell what happened at first. What did exactly go on?
Well, we was running behind Mike McLaughlin. I was trying to get by him, and Tommy Houston was trying to get by me. And, you know, we knew the leaders were coming, and we was just trying to make up some time there. And somebody jumbled up coming off of 2, and Houston got into the back of me.
Looked like last week was real exciting for you. You ran real good in this car, and sure your hopes were high for today as well.
Yeah, we were looking for a good finish. You know, the Davidsons are, you know, looking for sponsorship. Mean Green Purpose Cleaner helped us here today, and we're just, you know, looking for some sponsorship to continue on. It's a good group of guys, and, you know, I just hate something like this happen. I think we could have had a good run today.
Ed's out for today. Tommy Houston will be able to continue. As Ed turned sideways, Tommy ran into Ed, kind of knocked him out of his way, and continued on. A good move for Tommy Houston, and he'll get to keep on racing and on the lead lap, guys.
And Tommy Houston finished second in this race a year ago after starting 10th, so he is certainly no stranger to having good runs at Bristol, Tennessee. We're under caution for the 4th time today in just 66 laps of the Goody's 250. Back with more Busch Series action in a moment. From high atop Bristol International Raceway, these aerial shots courtesy of the fine folks from the Family Channel. Their blimp circulating the country and festivals and racing events, giving us these beautiful shots of Thunder Valley. As we go back to green flag racing once again, and Mark Martin just where he picked up where he left off as Tracy Leslie's car gets very high in turns 3 and 4.
It looks like Tracy Leslie's car is not running. Or if it is, it's certainly not under power.
He was being shown 2 laps down anyway in 32nd position. He was a car that was involved in a spin, got a little tag from behind to bring out the caution the first time. Now he gets off the banking and heads for pit road.
We had to hold his breath there for a couple of minutes while the whole line of cars went by, every car in the field.
And this is kind of like last year. Mark Martin had the class of the field last year and just simply stopped it about 100 yards before he got to the start-finish line, and today he's shown that he can drive away from the field each and every time we've had a caution flag.
Battle raging once again, and that continues for 4th place. Pontiac, the Lysol colors of
Curtis Markham.
Curtis Markham out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and behind him, former Northwest Tour champion Dirk Stevens and Terry Labonte.
This race has only been going on for 75 laps or so, the length of the race.
Behind them is the car that dominated the race here in August. That is the Red Dog Ford Phil Martacion machine of Kenny Wallace, and they made a decision to run the Busch race and not the Winston Cup race this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. They did not bring their Winston Cup car here this weekend instead of qualifying. Want to concentrate on the Red Dog car and try to win this thing.
There's the Red Dog machine, the Ford Thunderbird. Gil Martin and company preparing that car for Kenny Wallace. Behind him, we're riding along. That's the Budget Gourmet machine of Jason Keller, who finished 6th, got his best Bristol finish in this race a year ago. And we showed you Tracy Leslie's car slowing abruptly on the restart. Michael Waltrip, what happened?
The same thing that happened to David Green happened to Tracy Leslie. The belts on the front of the engine, the bolt broke, and all the belts were falling off. Fluid tension out. There's been several guys in and out of the pits over here. A lot of them just making chassis adjustments earlier. We got a little bit of a spin on turn 2 there. Up to you guys. I couldn't see what happened.
Well, Bert Shelmadine, Michael spun or has spun coming off the second corner and got the car righted and continued on. No caution flag.
Patty Moise had a little bit of contact there with Kirk as well, but they both kept going.
There's the Big Johnson, Don Beverly on car. Let's see if we can see what might have happened to Shelmerdine.
You can see he does maybe get a little bit of a tap from Patty Moise in the car number 40. And Shelmerdine spins on around, Patty goes on, and everyone else gets by and goes on too.
A little different angle from our robotic camera there on turn 2. Look at the traffic. Look at Stevie Reeves. What a good move he made to miss Moise, who was hard on the brakes, and so did Mike McLaughlin.
And Kirk decided, well, while I'm here, I'll just go down pit road. There's no, I don't guess there's a speed limit on pit road when you're...
Boy, Dirk Stevens has gotten caught up on the outside, fellas, and he has lost a lot of positions while we were looking at all of that. He just couldn't get back down. Now he finally, as Rodney Combs doesn't get traction coming off of turn 2, Stevens gets back in line.
Oh, he went from 5th to 14th. He got out of line here at Britain. That reminds you of Talladega getting out of line.
Yeah, it sure does. As we watch all this, Tommy Houston has pulled his Red Devil enamel car behind pit wall. And there's Mark Martin, who's saying see you to the guys.
Interval leaderboard from Mark Martin, Chad Little less than a second back, then Brad Teague, Curtis Markham. Good run for Markham. And Terry Labonte a little over 5 seconds back in 5th spot.
And here's a crash on the front straightaway. Oh, they're still wrecking. Several cars. Bill Parsons, Dennis Setzer, car number 17 of Robbie Reiser,
Bobby Dotter, the 08 cars. A caution being weighed for the 5th time today. Now Setzer gets his car going, as does Phil Parsons after that great run last week at Darlington. The Luxair car sustaining significant damage. There is what's left of Phil Parsons. Car number 99.
Phil looks like he got the worst end of that deal as far as damage was concerned. David Green brings his car back out on the racetrack, and the leaders come into the pits.
And here at lap number 86, leader pit stops. Let's go to Kyle Petty in the Mark Martin pit. Kyle?
Mark Martin's going to change 4 tires. He's radioed in. He radioed in after about the first 20 laps and said, the longer we run, the better this thing gets. They're making no chassis adjustments. They're changing 4 tires. Changing 4 tires, filling up with gas, and go try to get him back out there. Up to you guys.
Yeah. Second place car, Chad Little in left side tires. Now he has complained the first part of this race is Mark Martin will beat him down the pit road. Chad has complained that the car is loose, so Gary Cogswell called for 1 round of wedge to try and tighten the car up. Let's go to the backstretch pits and Michael Waltrip.
The first guy to hit pit road over here was Steve Crystal, and he'll be the first one to leave also. A great pit stop by his crew. Dale Jarrett is getting 4 tires. His car's been a little bit tight. I see him yanking a spring rubber out of the left rear. Bobby Hamilton, 4 tires also over here on the backside.
Well, pit stops become the order of the day due to the caution flag here for the 5th time involving a spin with Jim Bound in the car number 51. Let's see if we can see what might have happened with Bound coming out of turn 4 into the straightaway.
This is Tim Feto in the 55. Jim Bound in the 51. The Lux car. They get together, make contact as Feto tries to get under him. And around goes Bound. And here comes the other cars, and the wreck starts.
There were about 15 cars that were running bumper to bumper right behind them. And there's just a chain reaction type of a deal. And the racetrack got clogged up so that there was nowhere to go for some of them.
We'll try one more angle from the speed shot. And there we see the wreck happen. That's Jim Bound, the yellow car. Around he goes. And all that group of cars you saw behind are going to be in the wreck. There we see Phil Parsons spinning through the wreck, the 38 car of Elton Sawyer. There's Dennis Setzer in 59th. There's a point leader. The 74 car of Johnny Benson is involved and looks like he might be unscathed. John Kernan?
Benny, he was as close to being unscathed as you could. It's just minor sheet metal damage. In fact, Benson came in. They made a chassis adjustment to try and tighten that car up, and they changed 4 tires. I asked his crew chief, Steve Bird, if the car was hurt any more than it looked. He said, nah, just some minor sheet metal damage.
So he is back out with Phil Parsons' Luxair car is back out. The only car behind the wall in that melee looks to be the car 64 of Dirk Stevens. Back with more from Bristol in a moment. Back in Bristol, Tennessee, restart lap 92. And back out front is Mark Martin, who has just made a pass on Jeff Fuller, a rookie driver. His first time at Bristol had to be a thrill to lead a lap. But right now, Martin and Little are trying to decide it between the 2 of them.
And Little, apparently they made some adjustments on his Ford, and he is really knocking on the back bumper of Mark Martin.
As reported, Mark Martin says the longer the run goes, the better his car goes, the better his car feels. Right now on these fresh tires and new tires, Chad Little appears to be the faster of the cars.
And Phil Parsons back on the pit road in the Luxair Chevrolet. John Kernan, you there?
Jerry, not only was there a lot of front-end damage, they taped up the nose. I'm not sure if they lost a lap, but now, after going back under green, a tire rubbed the left rear tire, and now caution, well, it's not out yet, but there comes the caution flag as the 34 car has spun. Jerry?
That is Mike McLaughlin out of turn 2, and he has looped it around, and yes, we will have caution for the 6th time today. as he gets his car refired, and they have shortened up the mustard container a little bit. Car number 34 comes around with some heavy damage both front and rear, and he will creep his way back to pit road and Clyde McLeod and company to try to see if they can pull some sheet metal away.
Jerry, he was one of 21 cars on the lead lap, but of course he has gone a lap down now at least.
We'll try to see what happens. This is from our robotics camera, and we see some contact between McLaughlin and that white car, and that's the 75 car of Rick Wilson. Rick White tried to get under the 34 car. They made some contact and down the 34 car and hit that inside wall pretty doggone heavy.
It sure did, and you can see the damage that is done to the car.
When he spun, he backed in the wall with the right rear, and then as he came off that, in the inside wall, we saw with the left front. And I guess they're going to push the car behind the wall.
And we are under caution once again at beautiful Bristol International Raceway as they are working on race cars all around this facility. Beautiful aerial shots being provided by the fine folks of the Family Channel Blimp. Starting their national tour in September 1992, they are covering fairs, festivals, and sporting events like this one here at Bristol, Tennessee. Back in a moment. Today's Speed World coverage of the Goodies 250 being brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Honda Motorcycles. Stand out from the crowd on a 95 Honda Custom. Lots of action to come your way tomorrow right here on Speed World. NASCAR Today coming up at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Remember, 12:30 we're going to be on with NASCAR Today. Special half-hour highlight looking at what's coming up next. The Food City 500 at 1 p.m. And then Shop Talk with awesome Bill Elliott. Bill and Eli will have Shop Talk. That is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All that exclusive merchandise you can purchase purely on Shop Talk.
That was the one scheduled for last week.
Let's check in with Michael Walter.
A couple of cars that had some great pit stops on the back straightaway and moved up and gained some valuable track position is Steve Grissom and Dale Jarrett. Both of those cars, crews, did excellent stops, and we've seen how important it is to be near the front. The opposite of that is the 5-car Brad Teague. He's fallen way back during his stop.
Jason Keller's in-car camera, or actually Rook's cam, the Budget Gourmet machine, on his silver-prepared car as he is following the Food Country machine. That's Larry Pearson, a couple cars ahead of him last week's winner in the Stanley Tools Chevrolet.
That's Brad Teague in the Food Country car direct in front of him. We can see just how much the cars bounce around with all this speed. There's a race for third place. Jeff Fuller, the 47 car, who spun earlier. Well, it kind of played into his hands because he made a pit stop. When this last caution flag came out and all the cars fitted, he stayed out and assumed the lead, as a matter of fact, for a couple laps, and he almost loses control coming off that second corner.
And now Steve Grissom is going under him, going to make the pass. Kenny Wallace will come by as well. Terry Labonte positions himself to try to move down there. Yep, he gets right on by. How many? They just keep coming. Patty Moise down on the inside of him.
We'll see Robbie Reiser in 17, and I tell you what, when you open the barn door, all the horses get out.
And we'll come by and look, here's Mike Wallace and Larry Pearson, and Jeff says, man, how am I going to stop this?
What, was he running third when all this started?
And he'd probably be lucky to be 20th before it's over.
That's the truth. Yeah. He's already back to 14, now to 15.
It's Mike Wallace in the 90 car, the Duron paint car.
That's 8th, 9th, and 10th. Wallace, and now Pearson moves to the inside of Mike Wallace and will take the 8th spot away. Let's see if they can make the move inside. Yes, he does.
Yeah, how many positions will Mike Wallace lose? There goes Jason Keller and Dale Jarrett. Bobby Dodder's right there, but Bobby's a lap down. He was involved in that big wreck here on the front straightaway.
And there we see Hermie Sadler in the 1 car alongside Bobby Hamilton. Here comes Tim Fedewa, Elton Sawyer. Man, oh man, you get on that outside and it's just...
That's 16th, 17th, and 18th that they're battling for.
You don't think there's some tough licks on the short tracks particularly at Bristol, Tennessee. There are some banged-up race cars already, and we are yet to reach halfway in this 250-lap race. Now, there's the 32 car, the Mack Tools Ford. You heard Michael Walter talking about the great pit work they had on the backstretch. John Irvin and company. Take a look at where he made. Started 28, and now being shown in 10th spot at lap 108.
Here, he was one of those drivers that got through the big wreck here on the front straightaway, which gained a lot of positions for him. But I sort of held my breath there for a little bit because I didn't think he was going to make it.
Well, he started 30th here last spring and ended up finishing 4th, so Dale Jarrett definitely knows Bristol Raceway.
And we can see the cables for the flaps hanging down. You say, why do they use the roof flaps here? Are they mandatory here at Bristol?
They're mandatory everywhere.
At all the racetracks here in the Busch Series.
I think they learned here last year. We saw them in the Winston Cup race that they deployed during some spins here, and they said, hey, that can be a big help on this track as fast as they're running. So they made them mandatory everywhere, and I think that was a smart move.
You figure if the average speed here is 122 in qualifying, what would be the top speed, say, at the middle of or toward the end of the straightaway?
Probably 130, 35 miles an hour, because the banking at 36 degrees, they don't have to back off too much and slow down a great deal to go through these corners.
Jason Keller's Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. Here are the leaders.
Chad Little's doing a great job hanging on the back bumper. That's, well, I mean, really hanging on the back. As a matter of fact, that 60 car got a little bit loose up in 3 and 4 that time.
Chad's giving him all he wants right now.
We'll see the 35 car, Doug Hebron, smoking that time on the...
Here's 13th, 14th, and 15th, the 43 of Rodney Combs. Johnny Benson, our point leader, and Bobby Hillen. What a great run he had last week at Darlington, getting his best finish of the year in top 10. He finished 8th in that event as they are going by the Jeff Green car, the Goodwrench Chevrolet that was damaged in the spin earlier this afternoon.
And he is, as you can tell, back on the racetrack. And a crash down the front straightaway as Kurt Shelmerdine and Bobby Hillen, we just talked about it. Boom! He spins and backs in the 25 car of Shelmerdine. Hillen trying to get his car going again.
Caution again, and Hillen has the car refired. Now he tries to get it turned around. Heavy damage, and here's Shelmerdine trying to get his car refired. 7th caution flag, lap 121. Here's what happened.
There we see the 25 car of Shelmerdine.
Larry Pearson comes up behind him. Shelmerdine gets bumped a little bit by Larry Pearson, spins him around down to the inside, and apparently Bobby Hillen maybe gets bumped as the cars begin to jam up back there. Anyway, he loses control of his car and slides right down into Shelmerdine down on the inside.
We'll see another angle as we see Shelmerdine. Now the 20 car looks like he gets a bump from, who is that? Can't tell. Is that Hermie
Sadler?
Hermie Sadler looks like might have just barely bumped Bobby Hillen.
And there again, it's one of those chain reaction deals. When somebody backs off the speed you're running here, then somebody's going to get bumped.
Happens on freeways every day to all you folks watching this. When someone in front of you stops, you don't have a problem, but you look in your mirror and about 5 cars back, they're having a problem stopping. It's the same thing on the racetrack.
Now you know why all these teams, a lot of these teams that use Chevrolets, brought the old Lumina bodies here instead of the new Monte Carlo bodies. Under caution once again for the 7th time today here at Bristol, Tennessee, and the Goody 250 Goodies, a headache powder, appropriately sponsoring this short track event. Back in a moment. And half a lap ago, the green came out on lap 125. We are halfway home. Thankfully, the Goodies 250. Heaven forbid it be 500. It would be darkness with the kind of action we've had here in Bristol, Tennessee. Exciting short track action in Thunder Valley. Glad to have you with us. Mark Martin being shown as our leader once again.
Chased by Chad Little in car number 23. Steve Grissom is 3rd. And in 4th place is the car number 8, Kenny Wallace. Barry Labonte is 5th.
There's a roof camera on top of Chad Little's Harris Teeter car. Larry Pearson, the winner last week, the Stanley Tool car, number 92, and that is Brad Teague in the 5 car. One race deal for that 5. You see Dale Jarrett, the Mac team started. This is old Jason Keller, the Budget Gourmet car, as he tries to catch up with Brad Teague.
Jason is running in the 8th position.
Dale Jarrett behind him in 9th spot, coming all the way from 30 in starting position, or just a 28 starting position.
And in 10th place is Mike Wallace.
Boy, what a job Brad Teague has done. He lives here in Johnson City, but he knows this racetrack. If you come to Johnson City and we'll try to get a car in the field, you just call Brad Teague. If anybody can do it, that young man can. Young man, he's 47 years old.
Like you said, young man. Since I'm 53, it's getting younger every day, Jerry.
120 laps left here in the Goody's 250 NASCAR Busch Series event. 7 stops on the $7.5 million tour.
There goes Pearson on the inside of Robbie Reiser.
And Robbie's a lap down. He was involved in the big wreck here on the front straightaway.
See Terry Labonte there in the MW Windows Chevrolet. That's the car they loaned to Darrell Waltrip earlier this year, and Darrell sat on the pole with that car up at Nashville Fairgrounds, Nashville Raceway. Ended up finishing 8th, I believe, up there in that Busch Series event. They reeled the car back to their shops in Trinity and brought it here to Bristol, Tennessee for Terry to drive. And our AutoZone race recap. Our leader is Mark Martin, has led 99 of 130 laps. There have been 4 lead changes, 7 cautions for a total of 31 laps. And the average speed by virtue of those caution flags, 80 and change miles per hour. Our lap leaders, there should be 4 of them, and there are Mark Martin, Larry Pearson, David Green, and Jeff Fuller, the rookie driver. Out of race thus far, past the halfway, David Green, the defending national champion, Stevie Reeves, who's expecting their first baby on Tuesday from Watch Melissa.
And a crash down in turn 1. The 42 car of Bobby Hamilton just spun going down in the corner, and along came Rick Wilson in the 75 and had no place to go. The race, well, he chose to go high, and when he got there, Hamilton was there.
And there's the Band-Aid Pontiac. I just made a comment a moment ago, commercial, that the Band-Aid car was the only one I heard didn't have a scratch on it. That son of a gun, I think he hurt us.
I don't think they got enough Band-Aids for that car right now.
Pretty heavy damage, and you guessed it, caution again for the 8th time today at Bristol, Tennessee. And here's what happened here just seconds ago.
Okay, we'll take a look. As Benny says, the 42 car spins going into the turn, and the 75 car, that's 42, of course, is Bobby Hamilton, and Rick Wilson in the car number 75. I think what started all of that once again up in front of them, Johnny Benson tried to get on the inside of Rodney Combs going into that corner. He touched him just a little bit, but it didn't hit, but everybody behind him then started backing off, and that was in the left of the screen, that group of cars, and back there, then those cars probably backed off a little bit, got together and around the wind.
Tough break for both those drivers. Rick Wilson, a former winner here in Bristol, Tennessee, in Busch Series competition. One of 7 former winners in today's field. Here again, the tail end of that incident.
And now we can see the 42 car was up against the wall, and Rick chose to go up there thinking that the car would be gone when he got there. Bad news, Rick. He was not gone, and we see all the contact. But that's exactly where I would have gone, is up high, because these banks are normally self-cleaning. When something happens on the top, they go to the bottom of the racetrack.
Let's check in with Michael Walter. Mike?
I'm standing here in the Band-Aid Shire-to-Shire pit for Bobby Hamilton. He came in and got right side tires. The car doesn't look all that bad from this side anyway. I don't know what it looks like on the right side. The crew's going to come back in and do a little bit more work on it, but he should be able to continue. He had an unfortunate, untimely pit stop during green flag racing a little earlier. He thought he had a right rear tire going flat, and worked out that he didn't, and they pitted and lost a couple of laps, and they're back again doing some more work on it. So Kyle made the right choice today by being a TV guy instead of a race car driver.
You got to wonder, you know, Kyle and Michael are going to be out here for 500 laps tomorrow, and we got 8 caution flags in less than 140 laps. That made me a little bit worried, I would think.
I shudder to think what's going to happen tomorrow. Hey, Michael, what do you think about tomorrow? I mean, 8 caution flags already. What do you think? 500 laps?
Benny, this racing you're seeing today is why people at home should never tailgate. We run right behind each other, and when somebody starts to stop, there isn't any room to do anything but hit the guy in front of you. I wouldn't be surprised to see twice as many cautions tomorrow, and I think the race is, what, twice as long? So that'll work out.
And as you heard from two of the experts down there, some of our veteran drivers, don't try this at home, folks. Back to green flag racing. Caution lag lasted four laps. Caution flag 4 laps, the 8th time today. And once again, Mark Martin tries to pull away from Chad Little, but Chad's hanging tough because he realizes that Steve Grissom is about 4 car lengths back in 3rd spot.
Steve Grissom is blue 29, able to get by Chuck Jim now, I should say. It's Jim in the 51 car. And once again, this battle rages on between Larry Pearson in 92 and Brad Teague in 5.
That 6th and 7th spot, and Brad Teague not giving Larry any rest at all, trying to make a move to the inside or put a nose to the inside every time by.
But I guess Larry's crew has told him that if he gets high, if Brad Teague gets alongside and he goes high, then he's going to lose. Well, he saw that earlier on.
Yeah, he's already been in that position. He lost about 7 or 8 positions when he got up on the high side of the racetrack.
He's read that chapter before.
Yeah. He started in that movie early on.
These guys here in 8th and 9th position. And we're riding along with Jason Keller. Certainly that's 6th and 7th. Keller is back in 8th spot in the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet.
And once again, Brad tries and tries to get alongside.
But I believe that V8 of Larry Pearson has a little bit more power on the straightaway, Benny. Brad Teague with the V6 is able to close in on the corners, but when they hit the straightaway, can't quite do it.
Yeah, this race has been going on all day between 43, Rodney Combs, 74, Johnny Benson.
I think Johnny Benson is a little bit faster than Rodney Combs. He's had a nose up beside of him a couple of times, but just can't quite get by.
Rodney recording his best career finish at 6 in Atlanta early this year. Talking about Rodney Combs in car number 43 as he battles with Johnny Benson. Let's check into pits with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, a few laps ago, actually about a couple cautions ago, Johnny Benson radioed into Steve Burtis, crew chief, and said, I believe the 43 is running on 7 cylinders. He's going just fast enough to hold me up. I can't get around and go down to his pit and see if you can make a deal. So Birdie went down to the 43 pit, talked to them. They were supposed to let Benson get back around after a few laps, but apparently the deal has fallen through. As you can see, the 43 is still staying. Now side by side, and finally, and the spin, and Bobby Dotter and also Rodney Combs spinning out on the racetrack. Jerry?
Well, he got by. Benson got by, but that wasn't the problem.
No caution. They're still going.
And Rodney tried to get down. When Benson got by, Rodney tried to get to the bottom of the racetrack, and Bobby Dotter saw that opening. He tried to get alongside as well. He made contact with Rodney Combs, and Rodney did spin the 43 car, made a 360, didn't hit anything, and away we go.
Here it is. Benson gets on the inside going into turn 3, and here comes Dotter down on the inside too, makes contact with Rodney Combs, spins him around, but he makes a complete 360. You see everybody else jockeying for position back there. No caution, still going.
A little different angle, and we'll take a look as Bobby Dotter. There's a pass by Benson, and watch Dotter hit him right into Hogan.
That reminds me of Bill Elliott here several years ago. Bill did this. Or was it, I guess it was Bill that got tapped by Jeff Bodine, spun, did a 360, and won the race.
And Rodney Combs did not lose a lap. In fact, he lost about 3 or 4 spots, and that's all. Apparently, he is now being shown still on the lead lap in 16th position. Exciting Busch Grand National Series action continues as the Winn-Dixie car continues to lead the Goody's 250. Back in a moment. When we left you a moment ago, we told you that Rodney Combs, car number 43, was on the lead lap. He is about to lose that designation. Well, almost. Mark Martin is our leader, the car number 60. He has been trying to get around Combs for the past lap and a half.
He's been trying, but he's not having a lot of success. Mark catches him down the straightaway, pulls alongside just like right now, and down comes Rodney. Mark just cannot get alongside, and we see Chad Little. He's caught Mark Martin. Now, Rodney's decided to move over and say, Mark, go ahead on the outside. I'll give you room out there. Now Mark's going to try it out there. Ooh, baby.
Now Chad Little has to back out a little bit. Remember, they used to call Bristol jet fighters in the gymnasium. Whoa! And Hulk Hogan not excited about getting past again. He's already been smacked one time and spun up toward the wall. And finally, these 2 cars go by. And boy, then Steve Grissom says, now I got to go find this guy. And Rodney Combs trying to maintain his spot.
He is in 17th position, Jerry, so now there are 16 cars on the lead lap.
And there we see Larry Pearson, the 92 car, being lapped by Mark Martin. John Kern, what's his problem?
Vinny, after fighting a tight car all day a few laps ago, Pearson felt the vibration, and then the car got very, very loose. He and Ryan Pemberton and his crew chief have been talking on the radio, and now he wanted to pit that time, but he was caught on the outside, could not come down pit road. He should pit the next time by. They think they have a tire going down, but Pearson got caught up on the high side, couldn't make the entry on the pit road, but he should be on pit road next time by to take on 4 tires.
Chad Little has closed up on the back of Mark Martin. Mark thought his car was better on the long run. Right now, Chad Little is showing that his car is better on this run.
And it looked like a moment ago that Martin's car got a little sideways, a little swirling coming out of the corner. Gotta wonder if maybe he just rode the car in a little deep as he saw Little coming on him, because he's pulled away now by about a car length over Chad Little. As you watch this battle, we'll make mention that Larry Pearson did indeed, as John Kern told you, bring the Stanley Tools car on the pit road.
And there we see the 5-car Brad Teague, after he got by Larry Pearson, has caught up with Terry Labonte and Kenny Wallace.
That V6 is carrying him right on up through the field.
And if you wonder why a V6, we I think established that they are underpowered. They probably got 30 horsepower less than the V8s. Well, how can they keep up if they've got 30 horsepower less? Because they weigh about 100 pounds less than the V8, and that 100 pounds that the V8 weighs sitting on top of the front axle, in between the 2 front tires, makes the car very heavy in the nose, so it makes the car push or not turn that easy in the corner. And the V6 being light up on the front wheels, they're really zapping around these corners. Did that make any sense?
I think so, Benny. I understand it completely. There's the car number 90 and 74. That's Mike Wallace. And our point leader, Johnny Benson, in 9th and 10th position.
Now, Jerry, there are only 13 cars on the lead lap as Mark Martin continues to put more a lap down.
Serial on Benson.
Started 30th, worked his way up 14th, 131 laps, and now to 170 laps is 10th. It looks like that Johnny Benson has learned how to race for the points as well as anyone. Just goes out and runs his car is awfully fast, and we see the 92 car made the pit stop, but he still is slow.
And he's still not running as good as he was earlier in the race.
This is from the Family Channel blimp, looking down at the 90 car, Mike Wallace, 74, and Bobby Dotter, high 2's car. And I'm told that the reason that the 92 car is slow, they changed 4 tires, and some of the lug nuts are loose. He's going to have to come back in, make another stop to tighten up the lug nuts.
Ooh, I wouldn't want to be out there too long with loose lug nuts at Bristol.
No.
Oh, that could hurt. 75 laps to go here in Bristol, Tennessee, in the Goody's 250 NASCAR Busch Series event. Mark Martin is our leader, being pursued by Chad Little. There's Mike Wallace and Johnny Benson. The current Busch Series point leader is Benson, and winner in Atlanta earlier this year on ESPN.
Again, I think he has a little bit faster car than maybe Mike Wallace, talking about Johnny Benson. But Mike is running good and is able to hold him off. Bobby Dollar, that other car in particular, Bobby's lap down. He's being shown in 19th position as a result of getting caught up in a wreck earlier.
The 5 car in 57. 5 car Brad Teague was able to get by Jason Keller. And now has his sights set on the 14, Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte running 5th. Brad Teague now up to 6th.
Brad Teague in the car number 5, and that's the the last Chevrolet that Charlie Henderson owns. Charlie Henderson lives in this area, actually between Johnson City and up in Abington, Virginia. Their 14 cars still on the lead lap. This is Brad Teague's 114th Busch Grand National race. His first start came back in 1982 right here in Bristol, Tennessee. He has 1 win. That coming at Martinsville Speedway in the spring of 1987.
And Johnny Benson is making the pass on Mike Wallace. Boy, he worked for that one, didn't he?
He sure did. He worked and he worked and he worked. And they finally got by the 08 car of Donner, I guess, is a lap down.
Said they got a little help possibly from a slower car here on that pass a moment ago by Johnny Benson.
Well, they're coming up on Jeff Green, and Green goes high, and maybe Mike Wallace might have had to back off just a little bit, but it was enough that Johnny Benson was ready there to take advantage of any situation.
What you're watching there, the battle is for 5th, 6th, and 7th as they go by Rodney Combs. That is Brad Keegan, the car number 5, Crew Country V6 for Chevrolet. Charlie Anderson car. Riding along with Jason Keller. Budget Gourmet machine. Moving inside of Dennis Setzer.
Dennis Setzer struggled this year in the 59 car. He won the fastest cars last year. Won a couple of races, didn't he, Ned?
Yeah, indeed, as a rookie. Short track in Hickory, North Carolina, and Rougemont, I believe.
South Boston, Virginia. In fact, in this race car, the same car he won with both races last year, had a great run at Daytona, was running 3rd or 4th there with 3 or 4 laps to go, and involved in that massive crash in the Goody's 300. Jarrett's car number 32. That's the Mac Tools car, and he's getting a little pressure from behind.
Yeah, Johnny Benson caught him in a hurry. Of course, Dale got up there in the traffic, and that helped Johnny, but Johnny is definitely faster than Jarrett is right now. He's having his trouble getting around Rodney Combs.
And Steve Grissom apparently moving in on our 2nd place car of Chad Little. That's Grissom in the Channel Lock Chevrolet. Grissom wasn't even going to run this race, and the Channel Lock people called him, said, hey, we'd like you to go to Bristol, Tennessee and paint the car up. So indeed he did, and thus he is here and having a good run.
And you say, where's the 60 car? Just the last time we saw the 23, he was right behind Mark Martin. When he said, see ya, Martin said, see ya, I'm gone.
Let's check in with John Kernan.
Benny, actually, Chad Little had to slow down. He got right on Mark Martin's bumper, but then as he was going into turn 1, the car started bottoming out and starting to upset the car. So instead of taking the chance and wrecking that car that got 2nd place right now, Chad Little decided to back off, run at a pace where he would not bottom out down here in turn 1.
Well, you can't blame Chad Little. He's in the point standings here trying to win a championship, and this track has not been very kind to him. In 3 starts, his best finish of 12th. That coming last August in the night event. There is Chad Little's Harris Teeter Ford getting a challenge from a couple of car lengths away by the Channel Lock machine of Steve Grissom.
There we see Kenny Wallace going by, the 14 car. Terry Monty.
This battle back here continues. Dale Jarrett has still not been able to get around the lap car of Rodney Combs, and Johnny Benson is right there. Mike Wallace is right there. But they just are not quite fast enough to get up there and move around Combs because he's holding his groove.
That is 8th, 9th, and 10th. Jarrett being shown in 8th position in the Mac Tools Ford. Lipton T colors of Johnny Benson in 9th. Mike Wallace is 10th. The 08 car back there is a lap car, and it's Bobby Donner. He's being shown 1 lap down.
And the 1 car, Hermie Sadler, is in the lead lap.
He's 11th. Battle continues for 2nd position as they move beneath Dennis Setzer's 59 car. If you said, Benny, you don't see Mark Martin, he said, see you. Don't forget the right, guys. And now Grissom will take a move.
His spotter saying inside, inside.
Next position. Dale Jarrett got caught on the outside now as the train goes by him. He was trying to get by the lap car Rodney Combs and gets passed by a lot of other lap cars. Boy, it is so tough here at Bristol.
And here's what happened to Jarrett just a moment ago.
There we see Benson gets on the inside, and once Jarrett goes up on the top, they all go by, Ned.
Yep. We've seen it several times here today. The train just right on by, and it took Jarrett a while to get back in line. And now Mark Martin is coming up behind him, not too far behind, to put a lap on him. Jarrett dropped back to what?
11th spot. as there are 13 cars on the lead lap, and our leader is Mark Martin. There's the car number 60, the Winn-Dixie Ford. But remember, folks, what happened a year ago in Bristol, Tennessee? It's not over till it's over. Martin pulling in 100 yards shy of the tire. I bet you that won't happen this year.
It will not happen. And folks, if you're wondering about what happened in qualifying for the Food City 500 to be run tomorrow, that guy, Mark Martin, is on the pole. The second time this year, Ford's been on the pole. He beat Jeff Gordon by about 200ths of a second. Gordon is second.
And Mark was the last car to go out to qualify for the Winston Cup event. Exciting Busch Series action. More to come in just a moment. Track Packs are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
This is something we often see in stock car racing. The car spins, hits the wall, and breaks the oil cooler. There we see the oil coming out from under the car by the fireman's feet. And here is the oil cooler behind the left front fender. There's the air inlet where the air goes in and cools the oil. There's the oil cooler sits. Well, in Busch Grand National Racing this year, something new. No oil cooler behind the fender seat, no hole there. The oil cooler is part of the radiator. There it is on that side of the radiator. So now there's no oil cooler there to hit when the car spins or hits another car. And the air inlet in the front of the car, the air goes in, cools the water and oil at the same time.
That was nice, Benny. They keep moving those oil coolers around, but they're never going to make a car, I don't think, Bristol or Darlington proof.
Never going to happen. We see Mark Martin, Rodney Combs made a pit stop, changed 4 tires. He's right in front of our leader, Mark Martin now, and Mark needs to get by because the second place car is coming. We saw the blue car just come in the picture, Ned.
Steve Grissom is definitely gaining on Mark Martin.
And here's what happened a moment ago. Watch how hard Mark Martin's driving this thing. I mean, he's skiing sideways coming out of turn 4. He's got about 5 or 6 car lengths over the second place car, but he's not letting up at all.
Well, at that time he had a pretty good lead, but that helped to lose some of the lead.
Kyle Petty, what's going on with Mark Martin?
Well, I asked them if they could go the rest of the way, and they said yeah, but he's driving the tires off of it, just like you guys saw coming out of turn 4. He's been constantly loose the last 7 or 8 laps, and the 29 car is just tooling up off the corner just as straight as an arrow. And if he continues to run this way and they don't catch a caution, the 29 could get him by the end of the race, and they're worried about it, guys.
And there's our point leader, Johnny Benson, who's currently, what, in 8th spot, Jerry?
He sure is, and that's Jason Keller, the 7th place car right in front of him. Benson, boy, what a run he has had, starting back in, what, 30th position, now being shown in 8th. That's exactly where he finished this past August. He finished 8th here, and now moves to the inside of Keller as you watch from that Budget Gourmet camera, and you saw Benson now take the 7th spot.
51 car of Jim Bound, some laps down.
He is 1 lap down, being shown in 17th position. He was one of those caught up in a spin earlier in the race, Jim Bound, but has run good since then.
And here Mark Martin is right behind this group of cars. He's trying to say, how do I get by these guys? I mean, they're racing, they're bumping and jamming and shoving, and what do I do?
Boy, meanwhile, he's probably got a pretty good view now of Steve Grissom talking about Mark Martin. There's Martin's black car. There's Grissom in the blue car, the channel lock car. And he has cut the deficit, Ned. It looks like you said during the commercial break a moment ago, if this thing stays green, Grissom has got a good shot at it.
His car is really working, Jerry. It seems like on long runs that it stays more stable. And Mark Martin got caught up in that heavy traffic and having a hard time getting around it with his car being loose, too. Now he does get around Rodney Combs one more time.
Now let's see how much trouble that Grissom is going to have getting by Rodney Combs. That's going to be if it takes him several laps, 10 laps to get by, and Mark Martin is able to stretch out a car length or 2, he could be in trouble. But I tell you what, he's coming.
He really is, because once Martin got in front of Rodney Combs, he's not able to pull away from him.
And Rodney's saying, why did I move over? Because right now I'm faster than the 60 car.
Yeah, but Rodney has fresher tires. He made a green flag pit stop.
And Mark's car is loose. He is fighting that thing for all he can around this racetrack.
And here is Grissom on the inside, and Rodney does go high and lets Grissom go by.
And 74 got by Brad Teague, moved him up into the 6th spot.
Johnny Benson has, since he got out of some of the traffic he was involved with, has been coming on up through there.
And there you saw that car wobble a moment ago. Mark Martin's car still slipping and sliding, and now the interval is less than 3 car lengths between Grissom, the second-place car, and Martin, our leader.
12 cars on the lead lap.
You see Hermie Sadler in the 1 car is caught up on the outside. He's a lap down to these cars. And Johnny Benson, the Busch Series point leader. As you said, Ned, once he's got clear of this traffic, his car is working very well. He might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Or at least equal to Steve Grissom.
Benson being shown in 6th spot. And there are the cars in front of him. That's the 5th place car of Terry Labonte there in the 14, the right side of your screen. Left side, the Red Dog Ford. That is Kenny Wallace. He is in 4th position. 3rd is Chad Little. And, of course, 2nd is Grissom as he chases Martin Martin, and they are in heavy traffic.
Tim Fiedel in the 55 car, and Larry Pearson, 92, directly in front of our leaders, Mark Martin and Steve Grissom.
Now, Tim Fiedel is the last car on the lead lap. He is being shown in 11th position. Has a new sponsor this week on that car.
It's Lemon Chill, the lemon-flavored ice beverage.
Yeah, they're out of Fort Worth, Texas, and they'll be involved with him for the remainder of the year. I love that stuff. That's good stuff. Comes in the
Look here, the lead. Steve Grissom goes by Mark Martin and takes the lead.
Man, he just drove right on by. Mark didn't fight it too much. He realizes that his car is just not what it was, and rather than wreck, he decided to let him go on by.
Grissom started back in 18th position. The Channel Lock Chevrolet, 1993 Busch Series champion.
Oh, and Mark almost lost control going in the 3rd corner, and the 43 car. And Mark is in really a lot of trouble. The car is extremely loose.
It really is, and wouldn't be surprised to see him heading to the 5th before very long, because they've still got about 20 laps to go. So he might try to hang on. He probably will.
Well, Martin has got his hands full. He has lost the lead. The 3rd place car is Chad Little. There is Martin there, and there's a leader, Steve Grissom, in the car number 29. As Steve Grissom has taken the lead here, 20 laps to go. We'll take a quick break and come back and carry you all the way to the checkered flag in the Goody's 250. Back with more in just a moment. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, caution out. That's the incident right there. Patty Moise's Purex dial machine has come into contact with the wall out of turn 4, and the yellow flag waves for the 9th time today as we were approaching the 10 lap to go mark, and her car looped and tagged the wall. That's Patty Moise in car number 40.
And we can see some pretty good damage to the left side of the car. There's something on the left front tire is flat. That's what's dragging the suspension, dragging the racetrack.
She'll take it around to Doug Taylor and company. Doug owns that car.
Now then, Ned, how many cars do you think is going to pit?
Okay, there are 11 cars on the lead lap. So Mark Martin is... Nope, he's not going to.
But Chad Little, is he going to come in?
No, he's not going to. No, Mark Martin did not come in. Neither did Chad Little.
Damn it!
None of the leaders so
Damn
far.
it!
Now, that was Chad showing a little bit of disgust in what he thought maybe was going to be an entry on the pit road, and decided not to at the last moment.
Decided not to. And I'm surprised that the 11th, 10th, and 11th place cars on the lead lap did not pit.
Yeah, they
Might
really
have to stay on the apron in the current turns because you're going to be low on gas.
He said you're going to be low on gas. Stay on the apron. Don't ride on the bank because the fuel may get away from the pickup. And we see Mark Martin up there weaving back and forth trying to get that fuel to the car, because they're right. These cars get in awfully low, and when they get on the bank of the racetrack to 36 degrees, that fuel goes to the bottom away from the pickup tube. There's our fuel summary.
And if you're wondering why they don't know a little bit more about their gas mileage, they pitted, most of the leaders pitted around lap 80, which means they got to run about 160-some laps, 170 laps on the green, and they have never come here with a 9.5 to 1 V8 engine before, as they ran the V6s in prior years, and so fuel mileage.
The car just tightened up. We shouldn't have put that round in it, that first time, but how do you know? I just started tightening up there. Coming out of the turns, I can't get on the gas like I have been able to. 10-4, we can see it from here.
That was first Chad Little, and then Gary Cogswell, the crew chief, talking about putting around a bite in the car, and the car getting too tight.
One to go this time by.
The chassis are so sensitive on these cars, it doesn't take much.
And we are told there's a lot of concern about fuel consumption and possibly running out of gas among some of the lead cars.
And we can see all these cars weaving back and forth. That tells me that they are concerned, and they're trying to keep that fuel up next to the pickup by sloshing what's left in the tank around. There we see Mark back and forth. Jason Keller back and forth. Now he's doing two things. He's cleaning the tires, trying to get the debris off the tires, as well as move that gasoline around in the fuel cell.
Well, the lights have been extinguished on that Ford Mustang pace car. We will have 7 to go. As they come by and click another one off, they will get the green this time by, and we'll see if Steve Grissom can get his first win in 2 years in Busch Series competition. Spotter Terry telling Chad Little, green flag. He jumped to the throttle, and we are 7 laps away from the conclusion of the Goody's 250.
Slipping and sliding and trying to pass off the same time. What a tough deal.
Well, those tires have had a little bit of a chance to cool here during this caution. Whose cars will it make a difference on? Maybe on Mark Martin. But Grissom, I don't want to keep calling him Grissom. It's Grissom. I've known him for many years. But I think he'll have a tough time passing that blue car.
Right now, Grissom, I think, has to make the mistake for Mark Martin to win. But at this speed and the tires as worn as they are, that's not hard to do.
5 to go, that time by.
And Jason Keller, I don't know if he was getting low in gas or what, but he was passed by Mike Wallace on the outside.
I was told that his car was sideways and Mike Wallace was able to get by. Meanwhile, the leaders, there they are, the 29 Steve Grissom, the blue car, and the black car, the 6 in the Winn-Dixie car, off Mark Martin.
Tell you, Mark was battling an ill-handling race car a few laps ago, and he has done a masterful job to stay right on the bumper of Grissom on this restart.
Well, I tell you, this level of competition is so hard to get through. And a crash coming off turn 4. Some heavy contact between Phil Parsons, the 51, and they're racing back to the line, and Phil is right in the middle of the racetrack.
Their spotters are telling them to go low, guys. And Mike Wallace, almost didn't get by, and Jason Keller came almost.
And the 38 car is sitting up at the start-finish line also.
But they got the white flag and the caution flag, and they will come around for the checkered flag this time. And Steve Grissom will take the checkered flag on a wild finish here at Bristol, Tennessee. My goodness.
Well, that was wild.
And the left rear is knocked off Phil's car. He tried to pull away, and the left rear, we can see, is knocked off the rim.
And Michael Waltrip's down with the winning crew chief. Mike?
Brian Fraser, you didn't know if you had enough gas? You didn't know if you could hold off Mark Martin? It's got to be a great feeling.
Oh, yeah, it's a great feeling. We didn't really know. The gas man said, boy, you're making my life hard here, because it was kind of just a gamble here, but it all paid off. I just want to thank the good Lord and Channel Lock Tools and Chevrolet and the great day, and we'll go get them tomorrow and maybe have the same results.
It's an exciting crew. They're jumping all over the place. Didn't even know they were going to come here and race, and Channel Lock called up and told them they'd like to see them in Bristol, and they got a satellite dish on their pit box, and they watched themselves win on ESPN2, so that's pretty cool.
And they can watch it again tonight at 8 o'clock on the ESPN Classic, Michael, as you see what's left. And, well, you got to think that Phil Parsons' heart had to skip a beat. He sits there facing oncoming traffic. And, boy, Mike Wallace and I believe it was Jason Keller's car just barely missed hitting him head on.
Scary, scary moment as there Steve Grissom pulls into victory lane. He knew how to find the place, didn't he, Ned?
Yes, sir. He done checked that out before, I'm sure.
1993 Busch Grand National Series champion. His first win since July 4th of 1993. That win coming up at Milwaukee on the Milwaukee Mile. Incredible turn of events. He wasn't even going to come here. Channel Lock people called Gary Bechtel and said, who owns the race car, said, how about you guys taking Channel Lock sponsorship and going up to Bristol and running a race to get a little TV coverage? Well, they got some.
As a matter of fact, he told me that the body shop had to work all night, 24 hours one night, getting the car ready because this car was black. You know, he's been running a few Busch Grand National races this year with a black car.
And this will be the first win for Gary and Carolyn Bechtel, who have been in the sport for a number of years, and it's good to see them in victory lane.
They finished They finished 6th last week at Darlington. Excuse me, guys. Finished 6th at Darlington last week, and this was his 3rd start of the season. And a big smile.
You're supposed to jump up on the car and jump up and down.
Let's go to John Curtis. John?
Well, Steve, Benny said you're supposed to get up on top of the car, jump up and down. You didn't look all that excited about it, but congratulations. That's a great move getting around Mark Martin.
Yeah, I tell you what, this channel lock car ran super all day long, and the guys had one heck of a pit stop. I don't know, we come in running about 4th, 12th, something like that, and come out there in 3rd. We knew we had a pretty decent car, and it was just a matter of time. And then the way it went there with no cautions, it was a long green. Our car was good on green run, long run, and then that caution come out right there at the end, and I didn't know what was going to happen. But anyway, the car was great.
You guys were very close on gas mileage, too, and your crew chief said he wasn't quite sure, making it kind of hard on the gas man. Did it gurgle at all out there the last few laps?
I tell you what, after that last caution there with 7 or 8 to go, that thing was vibrating, skipping, popping, sputtering. But needless to say, we had enough to get here, and you know, my hat's off to the guys on the team. I mean, they've worked super hard, and you know, Gary and Carolyn, they put a super team together for us, and we're having a lot of fun. Wish you were here, Gary. But anyway, we're going to hopefully get to do this some more.
Now, this is your wife, Susan, right over here. Now, you look like you're just about ready to pass out.
I'm so excited. This is great. I got to say everybody, hello to everybody at home, and Aunt Susan, everybody. And it's great. And Gary the partner, Gary Betchel, he's not here. He's feeling better, and this is for him.
You got to remember to thank the car owner, huh?
This is Carolyn, our car owner, right here.
Oh, Carolyn, how about it? What a big win today.
Just a little excited. Wish Gary were here to enjoy it too, but Steve did an incredible job. Obviously, he can drive.
I don't think you get an argument from anyone about that.
From 18th to 1st, his first win in 2 years. That makes his 9th career Busch Grand National win. Steve Grissom victorious in the Goodies 250. Back in a moment. Today's Speed World coverage of the Goodies 250 has been brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires, and by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Look at those beautiful mountains of East Tennessee. And the last lap, remember there's a crash? Watch as Jason, well, here's the crash. The 51 car spins. Phil gets tagged behind from the 38 car, and we see Phil's car off the ground. And the 51 car continues on. And these two cars, the 38 of Elton Sawyer and Phil Parsons, sit there. Here comes the leaders as the leaders race by them for the, here they come. If their camera leaves.
And the leader was able to make it by, but watch now Jason Keller in the budget gourmet car. Now Keller able to finish in 9th spot, but he had a near miss as you're riding on the final lap with him in his roof cam.
We'll look at Mike Wallace up in front of him, make that move, and then Jason made the same move and just squeezed through there.
Well, I'm sure Phil Parsons drew up a little bit too, but anyway, let's check in with the car that finished in 3rd spot and its driver, Chad Little.
Well, they just finished filling Chad's car up with gasoline. It wasn't as close as we might have thought. He still had about 3.5 gallons to spare. But Chad, 3rd place, a fine run for you. You had a little problems, though, getting down into turn 1, right?
Yeah, the car, you know, I'd want to run in there a little harder than the car would let me, and I kind of bottom out, and then it upset the car and through the rest of the corner. So I could, you know, I was really good 3 and 4, but I couldn't make up anything down in 1 and 2, and I guess I had to compromise then. And then as the race went on, you know, we ran a lot of laps on the Goodyear tires today. A good tire, by the way, but it's just as the longer we ran, we were a little tight, so we needed a, you know, the chassis just wasn't quite right. But hey, you know, 3rd is a good run for us. We're real happy with that, and I just look forward now to a weekend off, and then we go to Hickory.
You're making a run for the championship. You told me at the beginning that your short tracks had to be where you focus your attention. You have to be satisfied. Now you've got the showing today.
Yeah, we really are, you know, because last year there's one area we could improve on. We figured it was a short track area, and now, you know, we've had 2 top 5s last 2 races at short track, so I think that's a big improvement. You know, I'm just real happy for the team. We practice hard, and the pit stops are going good right now, so I think everybody's real happy. Everyone's real upbeat right now, and it makes for, you know, the communication and everything just flows real well right now.
Well, they seem to be pretty pumped up after a 3rd place finish today.
They should be, John. 5 top 5s and 7 starts. Here's a look at what happened on lap 249 once again coming out of turn 4.
The 51 car spins when the field backs off. He and Elton Sawyer make contact, and we see the 99 car, the Luxair car, how high it was, and he gets bumped and turned directly into the traffic.
Well, that was a bad position to be in as they came barreling down to get the white and the yellow flag.
Boy, a near miss for Phil Parsons. Well, congratulations once again to Steve Grissom as he wins the Busch Series event here at Bristol. Back in a moment. Back at Bristol International Raceway, the Goody's 250 is history. Steve Grissom has gone to victory lane. Mark Martin has finished second. You just heard from Chad Little, who finished third. And now our fourth place finisher is with John Kernan.
Well, Kenny Wallace, you didn't even bring the Winston Cup car here this weekend, but you had a great run today.
Now, you know, Red Dog and Square D, that's what we're really trying to shoot for right now. They're great sponsors. We left the Winston Cup car home just so we could make a good showing today. The biggest difference was we ran the whole race on those left side tires. We couldn't get all four of them put on or else we'd have went a lap down real quick. But, hey, we'll take it. Fourth place is just fine.
So what's the future going to hold? When will you be your next Winston Cup race?
Well, we're going to run next week in Wilkesboro. We've kind of caught everybody off guard. We don't have a major big corporate sponsor on our Cup car. My car owner, Phil Martossi, says, hey, let's skip this week. You know, we've had some tough going in the Cup deal, so we took it off. The guys are working on what we feel is a problem of our Cup deal, and we'll be back every race the rest of the year.
So you only changed right side tires the one time, the left sides. Did it get really slippery out there on you?
Man, this is Bristol. I feel like it's a jet in your basement. Everything was slippery, but hey, I'm a driver, right? That's what I get paid for, sideways.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Jerry?
Well, he slid from 13th to 9th in the point standings by virtue of that good fourth-place finish here today. And talk about some exciting slipping and sliding. Look, coming up tomorrow, NASCAR today, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be on with a half-hour pre-race, taking a look at the Food City 500 coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Shop Talk with awesome Bill Elliott. That's coming up at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Back with more from Thunder Valley in a moment. Beautiful aerial shots today provided by the fine folks in the Family Channel Blimp, which is currently in the area as part of its 1995 nationwide tour dedicated to promoting the power of family. They're using the Blimp to support charitable organizations involved with the special needs of children and families. And let's thank the fine folks from Racing Electronics for helping us provide us with these in-car radio communications with the drivers you were able to hear from today, back and forth between their spotters and crew chiefs and the drivers themselves. And now Johnny Benson, our point leader. What a run he had today, and John Kernan has caught up with him.
Jerry, I think you could say it was probably one of the most intelligent runs, a very patient run for you guys. You had a fast car, but yet you had to be very patient. How difficult was that?
Being patient, I didn't think I was patient. I was going as hard as I could all day. They told me the leader was coming up behind me, and I meant, it was, man, we're just going to go as hard as we could. And, you know, Birdie did a great job setting this up. We didn't qualify good, but we had a good car. You know, once the race got started, we made one adjustment. That's all we had is that one stop. Made it through the big wreck on the front stretch early on in the day, and I tell you what, we're glad the Lipton T Chevrolet's in sixth place, I guess. But like I say, start 30th. We're extremely happy to come out of here in one piece.
Now, that big accident that you were you were kind of a part of. In fact, Birdie said only minor sheet damage, but sheet metal damage. But how'd you get through that virtually unscathed?
Eyes closed and just kept turning the steering wheel. We went through there backwards, and then it was kind of forward, and I don't know. That was lucky. Like I say, I was steering it, but I don't think I was doing any good. It was just going where it wanted to go, and we're fortunate. Like I say, new sponsor Lipton Tees has been awesome, and top 10 in every race. Man, we can't ask for anything better right now.
Leading the points, second year on the tour. You're going to Hickory in a couple of weeks, and certainly when it gets to that small track, Jerry, Johnny probably will once again be one of the favorites.
Indeed, as he gets his 8th straight Busch Grand National top 10. Take a look at the point standings. Johnny Benson continues to hold the lead. Terry Labonte, Chad Little, Phil Parsons, and Jason Keller in 1 through 5. 6 through 10, Rodney Combs, Larry Pearson, Jim Bound, Kenny Wallace, and Tim Fido. Back with more from Bristol, Tennessee in a moment. Back in Bristol, Tennessee, coming up next is Sports Night. Let's take a look at our full field rundown. 36 cars started today.
10 caution flags today, Ned. Tomorrow, 500 laps. How many caution flags you reckon we'll see?
it'll be hard to say. But, you know, once they got those caution flags all out of the way, then we went a long time under green before any more cautions flew. As you can see, there were 11 cars on the lead lap.
And there are 25 cars finished the race, although Jeff Green several laps down, 69 laps down.
There's the final 6. David Green, our defending series champion. The guy who won this race a year ago was finished 36th today. Talk about a good run. Jason Keller started 13th. He ended up finishing today in 9th spot, and John Kernan is with him.
Standing on pit road, Jason, ready to get over before the gate is closed. Jason, a great run for you guys today.
Well, you know, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet ran great all day. We were a little bit off at the end. Everybody has to realize this team's coming together. We're getting consistent in the top 10s, and I mean, we're ready. We're ready to get consistent in the top 5 and win one of these things before long.
All right, good luck. I shouldn't say better luck. In 9th place finish, pretty good. Good luck in a couple of weeks at Hickory.
Thank you very much. We're ready.
All right, Jerry.
Well, that's a young man who's certainly got a bright future here in NASCAR Busch Series racing action. Ronnie Silver, we mentioned the crew chief that works some with Michael Waltrip, and a veteran driver himself, going over to Keller's operation, and what a difference some experience behind pit wall can make.
Well, Ronnie Silver just has that quiet demeanor, and he brings a lot of confidence and a lot of experience and ability to the team. There's no doubt about that.
We showed you the final point standings. We mentioned Terry Labonte will not be going to Hickory Speedway. Terry said, I wouldn't mind going to Hickory. I love going to Hickory, but my wife Kim's going to be at Grand Cayman there on the beach, and she's telling me that I had better be there. Lots of racing action to come your way tomorrow. How about it? NASCAR Winston Cup action. Remember, we're going to come on early at 12:30 with a preview show, and then at 1 o'clock live coverage flag to flag of the Food City 535th annual event. $1,021,327 up for grabs, and Dale Earnhardt, the defending winner of this race here last spring.
And once again, Dale Earnhardt qualified poorly, starts back in the, 23rd or something.
Yeah, and he started back there last year and was able to pull it off, but he's going to have his work really cut out for him tomorrow.
And every one of those 75,000 seats you see right there will be packed, and we hope you will be right in front of your TV screen tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time for the Food City 500. Once again, our thanks to Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, and John Kernan. Exciting pit action. They were on top of it all day long. Our Winston Cup Championship analysts, Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons. I am Jerry Punch, once again congratulating Steve Grissom, the 1993 Busch Series champion, on his win today in the Goody 250, and saying so long, everyone, from Bristol International Raceway.